Thank you, Paul. Senator Osten, you were first elected to the state Senate in 2012 and are a member of the long-dominant Democratic Party. It just came out today that the current budget is running a deficit of nearly $80 million. Are Democrats the solution, or are they part of the problem?
So first, let me thank you both for hosting this debate. I think it's a great idea to have debates. And second, let me thank NFA and all the constituents for being here today. I don't think Democrats are the problem, and I've heard that. I would remind people that 86.6% of the time Democrats and Republicans agree on everything. In the budget that was put forth by the Republicans, it was $145 million out of whack. They refused to submit it out to the Office of Fiscal Analysis, and they used every single dime of all taxes that were raised by the majority party. So no, I don't think that having a majority in the House, the Senate, and in the governor's office is the problem.
Ms. Crouch?
Well, I'd like to say that really the constituents will decide if there's a problem. We are now $79 million in deficit, even though it was claimed we were not. And I want all of you to go back 2 years. The governor said before that election that we had a surplus, which turned into a deficit that had to be mitigated. We have been unable to balance our budget, even though we have had the 2 largest tax increases in history. So whatever the problem is, we need a different solution. And I feel that one of the things we need are a different set of eyes to look and come up with innovative ways to handle the issues that we are having, primarily fiscal. And yes, you may agree 86.6% of the time, but if that is about fluff and not about substance, then that 86.6% really means nothing. We in Connecticut are hardworking people, and we deserve a state that works for everyone. And right now, for the last 6 years, we have been unable to tax our way out of a deficit. We need to do something differently, and we deserve different representation.
Senator Osten, 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaunier. My colleague talks about balancing a budget, yet she was the financial director for the town of Griswold. She turned in a budget that was $700,000 out of whack, and that was not found out until after the budget had passed, and then the following year turned in a budget that was $900,000 out of whack. I would say that her idea of looking at a budget with a strong set of eyes may not be what we need in Connecticut. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to give another 30 seconds because there was a kind of new point raised to Ms. Crouch on that.
Well, I'd just like to say that I dispute those numbers. Independent arbitrators said something different. But one thing I can say is at least in Griswold or Lebanon or any place else, I didn't get 12% raises. Ben Barnes has been unable to balance our budget. The legislature has been unable to balance our budget. The governor has been unable to balance our budget, and yet they continue to say that there is no budget deficit when we realize there is. Thank you.
And next question is to you, Ms. Crouch.